What's up, everybody? Yes, I'm back, man. Check this out. This is a fitness channel with the twist, baby. Yes, a fitness channel with the twist. And today's twist is I'm going to speak a little bit on a video that I just observed this morning about Cali Legends Media and his experience in that 9500. Way different than my experience, I tell you that right now. Whether it be factual or, made up, I really don't think so, you know what I mean? Because you got to keep in mind, Cali Legends Media has a few years on me, but way different, how should I say, the way we carried that 9500. Let's just put it that way. I'm trying to keep it in the most respectful way, people. Well, anyways, man, this is a fitness channel with the twist. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on. All 10,000 subscribers, I will start doing lives. If you want to get started in your fitness journey, hit me up, highpowerfitness, high_power_fitness_, or you could email me at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com. Whichever you choose to do, I have a guaranteed bulletproof plan, baby. The blueprint works. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, baby. But anyways, people, let's talk about ketones. What is a ketone? Okay, it isn't a fat. It's not a carb or a protein. It has characteristics of a fat and a carb, but it's not. It actually comes from fat, but a ketone is an alternative fuel source. And the way that you get ketones is you simply lower your carbs and your frequency of eating, people. It's not hard. I've said this in the past. It's a very simple thing to follow. It's actually more beneficial, but let's just keep it simple right there, because I really do have to speed up on this video. Oh, real quick, before I move on, this motherfucking rambles, man. I apologize for yesterday. I had the wrong thumbnail up on there, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I guess it comes with having too much on your plate at one time and overthinking. I gotta pump my brakes sometimes. You know what I mean? There comes my neighbors. There comes all the noise. People trip out on this, man. It's like perfect timing every time. And I'm out here a little bit earlier. I think they 459 my conversation and want to be part of my my video. I just bullshitted people. Okay, so anyways, ketones. It's an alternative fuel source, and the way that you get ketones is you simply lower your carbs. Okay, and your in your diet, or you reduce the frequency of eating. And this is why I'd recommend a low carb diet with intermittent fasting. That way you can maximize your ability to make ketones. Ketones have many advantages versus regular glucose fuel, people. It will increase the oxygen in your body. It increases your energy. It supports the brain. In fact, your brain prefers ketones over glucose, people. And it does the same thing with the heart. It supports the heart. So, like I said, man, to get in that ketosis state, you're going to have to lower your frequency of eating and lower the carbs. You can still incorporate carbs, but make sure they come from leafy greens. You don't want the sugary carbs or refined carbs and stuff like that. That's just boo-boo. But anyways, people, like I said, I hate to speed this up, but I have to, because you guys are well aware my backyard boogie is my backyard studio. This is where I do my supposed content, people. So anyways, I seen a video about Mr. Cali Legends Media this morning. He spoke about him being in 9500 and hitting the court system. The way they ran things, according to the way he said, way different from when I was going through that place, because that place was motherfucking rocking and rolling. Okay, I'm not saying that the story that he put out there isn't true, because there is an age difference. And like I said, that place is constantly changing. I don't know when the verde was put on their varios, but I'm going to give you an experience from when I was going, because I actually had an individual said, hey, OG, I thought the 9500 was rocking and rolling. According to Cali Legends Media, it wasn't really kicking up. No one was kicking up dust. Okay, I'm going to give you an example, man. I came from that time where we established real estate in that 9500. In that 9,500, it would be unheard of whether that person be a J-Cat or not, that Cali Legends Media said was that took his bed from him, would not be permitted in our area. That would be an immediate threat to us, and we would set it off. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, I know for a fact during my time, it was very rare to see anybody from Maravilla in that 9,500 because that would be really, really dangerous for them. And the reason why I say this is because of the green light that they had. They would get smashed on. You know, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it never happened during my time in that stay of 9,500, and that's where they would always send me. They would always send me to 9,500 to, I guess, get me tuned up to get ready to go down to the modules wherever they wanted to send me afterwards. But yeah, during my time, especially this part right here, what he said, where he left his property there at his bunk, and he didn't mention about people selling bunks. People used to try to pull that bullshit. Not our gente. We wouldn't do that. But there was individuals that would try to do that, okay? Now you got to keep in mind the real estate over there was, everybody was separated. You had the brothers, the Woods, which were very limited. They were with us. And then you had the Paisas. They had their little section, okay? And then, of course, we had ours. If an individual was going to the county jail, we would take our property because there's no guarantee that you're going to come back to that spot right there. You know what I mean? And if somebody did leave their property right there and they asked the homies to keep an eye on it, especially if they're from your barrio or wherever, you know what I mean? I could see, because I would always leave my property when I would go to court when I was sitting in a module, you know what I mean? But in 9,500, hell no. If that motherfucking thing wasn't bolted down, someone was going to take it. That was a fucking war zone, I'm telling you right now. It was the strongest survival of the fittest and the strongest there, baby. You know what I mean? You would get got straight up. But anyways, I rambled on a whole lot. Yes, I did. Cali Legends Media said that he was off to court and he left his property right there with his homies on his bunk or his camaradas or whoever they were. And he asked them to keep an eye on it, that he'll be back. Now, this is unheard of. For another race to remove the homie's property, them homies fucked up. They should have fucking took flight on that fool. For one, if it was coming during my time, he would have never even made it there. But if there was an individual, because I remember a point in time when I was in Biscaloo, that was the most kickback place I've ever done time in the county jail. And I was in there for a short minute because after this certain incident, there was a little brother that had sticky fingers. He was a known little smoker in the street. Well, one of the homies, food was coming up short all the time when we were going to chow because we used to walk to chow. So, you know, we figured out a game plan and we got. Like, we got that food. He got. You see what I'm saying? It kicked it off, you know what I'm saying? And since there was the Garchak in there, obviously they know the individuals that erupted the riot in there, so they, you know, I ended up getting kicked out of there and I wasn't welcome back there anymore, you know what I mean? After that, they started shooting me to Supermax, medium south, medium north, east, or just staying right there in the county jail until I cut the chain. But anyways, people, like I said, unheard of for anyone to allow another race to put hands on a homie's property. That's forbidden. Maybe times were different back then, but I really don't think so. So that's the only thing that I see that is kind of strange in that story. Why would the homies even allow that? You know what I'm saying? But that's here nor there. You know what I mean? Cali Legends Media, he does his thing and he has his perspective, the way he went through the system, and everybody did time differently. You know what I'm saying? And obviously he did time differently, you know, because he did come from a Nadia that had a verde on them, you know, so their actual time going through that system is definitely going to be different than what mine was, you know. But anyways, and then for the homie to get back into pretty much, I don't know, I seen it like it was like trying to compromise with the individual. That shit would be not, it would not be up for negotiation at all. If I came back and someone removed my property and they pointed me to the individual, I would have went over there and straight took motherfucking flight. Did what I have to do. I would have taken that broom and broke that broom on him. But that's my old ways, okay? Let's keep in mind, I've changed. I'm a civilian out here. I'm just giving you guys the way it was when I was going through that 9500, because anybody that's done time in that 9500 that's around my age group, or even a little bit older, because I know I was in there with a lot of my older homies, and that place was rocking and rolling, boy. It was no joke. Really, it really wasn't. Guaranteed you were gonna walk through and get in a riot in that spot right there. And that's where we did a lot of cleaning house as well. You know, for those of you that know, you know. And a lot of people got the blues, especially in them shower corridors. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you've done time in that 9500. But anyways, so Mr. Cali Legends Media City went over there and discussed the dude, and then took him his property, get whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And, you know, like I said, man, maybe during his times was different, but that would have never happened during my time. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That is a no-no. To put hands on another race's property, you would be looked at as a thief. You know, you just don't do that. But anyways, people, man, I'm gonna bring this video to an end. Let me know what you think. You know, if I'm wrong or if I'm right. But I've never lived during them times, and like I said, during my times, I never seen anybody from out of here go to that 9500. That would be, man, that would be very dangerous for them, you know. And I mean, even though you had love for an individual, you know, it was just, you can't go against the grain, you know what I mean? Because like I always speak highly of my boy from Lopez. He's from Lopez Maravilla. He was a fool, but I've never even seen him in 9500. He would always hit the modules. You know what I mean? He'd announce his arrival and he'd do his thing. You know, that was known to happen a lot too. You know what I mean? Someone get shot in your cell or transferring during court, and you know they happen to be from that area, and you know you got to do what you got to do. It's reglas. You know what I mean? You had to take flight on site because that's just the way it was. And you know, a lot of the homies got smashed on, and some of the homies, you know, gave that same energy in return. You know what I mean? Because hey, there's some homies out there that's really got some chunkums, man. You know what I'm saying? But I tip my hat to all the homies from Maravilla because they went through a thing that I could never relate to. You know what I mean? Because I played on that other side where the majority was. You feel me? And I mean, you know, the side that didn't have a vet down on people. So let's not get it fucking twisted here. Well, anyways, people, with that being said, man, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all. Once I reach 10,000 subscribers, I will start doing lives. If you want to get started in your fitness journey, hit me up. It's High Power Fitness, or well, High Power Fitness, my Instagram, high_power_fitness_, or you could hit me up at highpowerfitness@yahoo.com, whichever you prefer to do. No matter how you do it, we're going to jump on the horn and we're going to go over your fitness goals, and I'll dial you in. And if you can't afford the whole program, I'll work with you, man, because I do in-house financing. And with my financing, what's good about my financing is you come up with the payment plan that works best for you. I don't pick your payment plan because I don't know what you could afford. You know, I will work with you, and you will still receive the full package, the full program. You know what I mean? 100% of my coaching, everything. You know. So, anyways, with that being said, get up and get yours.